and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work. Yeah, I'm relenting. I'm putting on a chest strap. I know, for about 2-3 years I've been consistently adamant that optical heart rate is fine. Excuse me, spit. Always. Now, if you're going to put a chest strap on, you need to make sure that you've got enough sweat on your body or enough spit to make the connection a decent one. Because if you haven't got a good connection, then you'll start off with ridiculous heart rate as well. Right, what's in the corner there? Good morning. Good morning from the south coast of the UK. It is 9:30 a.m. and we are running on the Paris course today, but we're going to be running uphill. We are doing an elevation session, 500 meters of climb, as we do sometimes 2 or 3 two. It's been about two, hasn't it? 2 times a week on Zwift. In preparation, there's the ticker heart rate monitor just being detected and set up. So there we go. Press OK and back. There was an update this morning. I don't know if anybody noticed. There has been an update just to include all the assets for the Zwift academies, the various academies, cycling, running and triathlon academies, which all start next month. So there have been some updates. So if you are running or riding later on, do make sure you leave time for those updates to happen before your ride starts. Good thing about doing your own thing is that we don't have to wait for any start. We can just go whenever we want. I'm not going to be late, but it also means I'd faff around a lot. Right, Clive Finnemore is standing right behind me, so let's get going. Anything else I need to say? No, basically, so what we're doing is we're putting 12% elevation on the treadmill. Oh, hang on, chat. I need to set chat up, don't I? Because I can't see what anybody's saying otherwise. So let's do that first. So Facebook chat. I'm watching Facebook chat. I'm watching YouTube chat. And I'm watching Twitch chat. We have been having some people on Twitch recently, which has been nice. And so let me just set that up, and then Clive, we will get going. I haven't seen any chat just yet. It does take me a couple of minutes to set it up. YouTube in particular, on the chat, takes ages to log in and organise itself. Right, there we go. That's that. Press view. Andrew Cutmore, good morning to you. Ryan Perring says, wow, your heart rate is erratic. What do you mean my heart rate is erratic? Got a chest jam. Well, see, I think it's just settling down. TV Guy AU says, yes, he updated yesterday. Good evening from Australia. Don't you want to start instead? Don't you want... Oh, yeah, I do need climbing instead of watts, don't I? You're right. Thank you, Ryan. That's annoying. And right, so another thing to do before we get started. I'm sorry about this, Clive. I'm faffing around a lot now. I'm aware that I'm faffing, but we need to sort this out, don't we? So, yes, instead of watts, we need elevation. So let me sort that out. So we load up the Zwift companion app. And wait for it to log in, and it knows it's there. And then we go to dashboard, and now I need to edit this page so that I can actually see. So you'll have to bear with me while I fiddle about and get the right section of the dashboard to show the elevation we've climbed. That's it there, isn't it? Look. Now I just need to move it into the right place on the screen. Oh, hang on a minute, that's not right. We'll get running in a minute, I promise. Right, now why is that not showing? Bear with me. That's all wrong. Hang on a minute. Right, why is that not showing? It's showing on the other one. Hold on. Bear with me. Right. 1, 2, 1. That's what I need. 1, 2, 1. Hold on. 1, 2, 1. Raw input files. Zwift. 1, 2, 1. There we go. And then we'll just move it into place. Ryan Perring, classic how to stream 101 here. Yeah, make sure you get everything prepared and ready before you start streaming. The thing is, I'm just totally relaxed about this morning's stream. I'm not worried in any way. The thing is, when you've got a race to do or like a proper workout organised, then you start to panic that you're not ready. But when it's just me on my own in the morning, I'm not really that bothered. Right, there we are. That'll do. Sit back. Can't sit quite nicely. Oswald76 has found me on Twitch. Hello, Oswald. Right. Okay. Oh, Clive, it's Clive Finnemore on Twitch. Hello, Clive. Right, we're starting in a second. We're starting now. I'm ready. We've got elevation. We need to climb 500 metres. So I'm starting now, Clive. So start the treadmill. We get walking. Immediately put up the elevation to 12. And we'll just gently walk out the first 200 metres or so at 5 kilometres an hour. Right, so if you are new here, hello. If you're wondering what the hell's going on, this is Zwift. You may recognise the course. It is the Champs-Élysées in Paris. We're heading away from the Arc de Triomphe down towards Place de la Concorde. And we are doing, we're doing an elevation session. I know this is not a hill. We're not on a hill. In fact, the actual course is going slightly downhill at the moment. But the idea is that I am training for a race coming up in November. And so for the next 4 weeks, a couple of times a week, I do this elevation session, which is 500 metres of climbing. 500 metres of climbing over 4 kilometres with the treadmill up at 12% incline. So I'll say it again as I always do. Oh dear, we have some bots on Twitch. We may have to turn Twitch off if that becomes annoying. Apologies for that. So yeah, quite often those bots, once they find you, they just constantly message. So I may have to turn Twitch chat off in a minute, but we'll just see how it goes. Yeah, so for every 1 kilometre we run or climb, we do 120 metres of climbing. And if we do 4 kilometres, that makes 480 metres of climb. And so we just do a little bit extra after the 4 kilometres, and then we're done. Ryan Perring says Twitch doesn't realise you're already famous. Absolutely. Right, just walking out 200 to 300 metres just to get the legs used to the incline on the treadmill. I've got a bit of a slippy treadmill today as well, a bit of moisture in the air, so hopefully that dries out in a second. Andrew Cutmore says tapering now as running my first 50km ultra on Saturday the 10th of October. Longest slow run, 22 miles, should be enough. Yeah, you'll be fine, Andrew. As long as you're not going for a crazy time, just take it easy, enjoy the run. Right, I don't know if you can see, you can't probably see with the sun, with the light. That says 12 there, that's the incline on my treadmill. And this says 5 here, and that is the speed that we're going, 5 kilometers per hour at the moment. So I'm just going to walk out about 200 to 300 meters before I actually start running. So I've got Clive with me, and he's going to do the session with me today. Tina Beard, good morning, Stephen. I'm off to Pilates, but hope to join you on Thursday if you're doing the same. Yes, I will be trying to do a quick Spanish 5k on Thursday evening, UK time, Thursday evening. So last week we had a bit of a technical disaster with the Spanish 5k, and I only managed to do 3 kilometers of hard work. So hopefully this time it'll be okay. Andrew Cutmore says he's aiming for 5 hours for 50k. Nice one. So that is a very simple 10 kilometers an hour. So just doesn't matter about individual split times. So don't worry about each kilometer, because if it's a hilly course, you're never going to keep to the same kilometers per hour for each kilometer. But for the whole hour, 10 kilometers an hour. So just keep going at 10 kilometers an hour. Bearing in mind you'll also have aid stations to deal with as well, stopping, so just have a little bit of leeway for that. But 10k an hour, no faster. Don't go off super fast at the beginning, hoping to kind of bag some miles or bag some time, because that never works out, or it very rarely works out, and you'll be absolutely shattered in the last 10k, even last 20k. 10 kilometers an hour, and that'll get you in 5 hours. Right, let's start running. Clive, I'm going to up it to 5.5 kilometers per hour, and we'll start gentle jogging. You won't see the avatar running. If you're a regular, you'll know fine well the avatar doesn't start running until 6.8 kilometers per hour. Dean Hand, hello to you, buddy. He says, hope you're keeping well. Same here, mate. Yeah, I'm good. Slightly tired with all the extra mileage I'm doing at the moment, but only there's 5 weeks to go to the race, and 3 to 4 weeks of hard training left, or big mileage rather. Then we'll do 1 or 2 weeks of less mileage to just taper. And then after the race I'll do a lot of rest, so we'll do a lot less mileage. Probably still be streaming most days, but the mileage will be a lot less than 100k a week easily. At the moment I'm doing about 130k a week, which is about 80 miles. Hang on a minute. Yeah, more than 80 miles. So you can see Place de la Concorde ahead of us. We are slowly going to get there. Dean Hand, I'm doing the South Downs Way 100. So that's on the 7th of November, and I'm not filming it. I've filmed it twice before, so I'm not going to film it this time. I will film it again, but 2 or 3 years from now. But I am going to try and go for it, you see, this race. So it's a hilly one, but if I can get close to my Thames Path time or even quicker, I'll be happy, because I know the course very well. I know I'm not going to go wrong anywhere. I'm going to have crew. It's going to be cold, which suits me. So I would really like to try and get a decent time for my South Downs Way 100. And if I can finish in the top 50 as well, that'd be great. So I'm putting in some effort, I'm putting in some training, some mileage to try and achieve that. But yeah, well over 80 miles a week at the moment I'm doing. So I'm a little bit tired, but that's to be expected. And I'm going to have a nice 2, 3, 4 weeks of recovery afterwards. And then we start building for Trans Gran Canaria, at the end of February, in first week of March, I think. Transgran Canaria we did last year, this year actually, in March. It was the last race we did before lockdown, and really enjoyed it, so we're going to go back and do it again. So Clive is with me as we approach the Place de la Concorde. Going to go round the outside, run along the side of the River Seine, and the Louvre on the other side. Heart rate is 120 BPM. Nice and relaxed, nice and comfortable. Notice my camera angles aren't working, are they? Why is that then? They're on. Reloaded the camera angles script, so we'll see if it does anything in a minute. If not, let's not worry about it too much. Dean Hand says, I'm still recovering from a serious injury, currently using the stepper at the gym. Find it very difficult mentally to cope. Have you had any injuries? And any tips on how to keep motivated? Well, I'm generally very lucky, so I haven't had many major injuries. I did have the worst injury I've had was shin splints about 6 years ago. Just at Clive, we're now going up to 6 kilometers per hour, so we'll just increase the pace to 6 kph. And what I did then was a lot of cycling, and I remember also going out with my running club on the bike. So I would join the running club for their runs, but I would do the run on the bike on the roads. Luckily it was during the winter time when they were on the roads and not on the hills, or that would have made it more difficult. But yeah, try and keep ahead on other sports, keep your fitness up as much as possible. I mean, I know it's going to be a different kind of fitness, but just do cross training, other sports, swimming, cycling, and CrossFit or things like that, to try and keep you motivated to get out in the mornings or in the evenings and do a session. But yeah, I mean, it can be tough to keep motivated when you're injured, and it can feel like forever. I remember I was off for about 3 months with shin splints, and yeah, I mean, it just felt like forever. And I would try and go out for a run and realise I wasn't anywhere near ready. I remember running along the seafront. I got about 100 metres before I just knew that the injury was still there, and I just had to stop and walk back to the house. It was odd though, because cycling was fine. I could do cycling. It didn't hurt my injury at all. The most recent injury I've had was last year. I had a pain in my foot, and I was off for 5 weeks, so nowhere near as long as I was for the shin splints, but it was still annoying because I was right in the middle of training for races, big races over in Chamonix, France, and I arrived at that race in France completely untrained with no training for 5 weeks, and consequently DNF'd. So yeah, it's just rest, isn't it, really, unfortunately, with injuries. You know, whatever physios tell you, it's usually here's a few exercises to do to help, but generally with almost every injury the only thing that helps is rest, and I charge £40 per hour for that information. Don't need a physio to tell you what to do when you're injured, to be honest. It will heal. Ryan Perring says shin splints aren't the one. Andrew Cutmore, ordering the new treadmill today. Very excited. Excellent, Andrew. Good job. So heart rate gradually going up, 131 at the moment, into zone 2. This is not about speed, by the way. This is about endurance and getting the leg muscles, the calves, used to regular climbing. So to be honest, the longer it takes, the better, really. Just nice and slow, keeping on the balls of the feet. Not quite on your tiptoes, but on the balls of your feet, so that you're using the calf muscles to climb. If you're climbing flat-footed, you're going to risk injury to your hamstrings. Calf muscles are perfectly capable of doing this work. In fact, they're the most efficient muscle in your leg for doing the climbing. I haven't got the fan on. I'm just wondering if I should put the fan on. It's a bit warm. No, Andrew, I don't know. I mean, you could try and message Adam Holland and ask him how high it goes. Do you mean it has 20 settings of elevation? Because that would suggest it's doing half increments, so it will go to 10%. But I'm not entirely sure. It might well go to 20%. It could be doing half increments, it could be doing full increments. So we're 1.5 kilometres in, 3.5 to go. Sorry, 2.5 to go. And we've got the Seine, the River Seine on the right, and we've got the Louvre, the Gardens of the Tuileries Gardens on the left. And up ahead is the Louvre, that big building on the upper left. That is part of the Louvre. Ryan says 20% would be crazy. At 15, I'm nearing the ceiling on my mill. You know that the Nordic track ones go to 40%, don't you? Have you seen Jam Jam's video of him training for the Barclay Marathons on a Nordic track treadmill with the elevation at 40%? It's crazy. Dean's injury was a torn Achilles running the Peak District. So it's all healed now, just building strength in the tendon. 6 months to get here, wow. I've never had 6 months off. My mate Richard, who I run with a lot, he's had 5 months off. And yeah, he was very miserable. A bit of a nightmare at home, I do believe. Right, 209 metres climb now, so well over 200 metres of climbing done. Not quite at halfway yet though. 250 metres is halfway. And there's the other side of the Louvre over there. Aldridge, thanks for the ride on. Heart rate 128, so doing nicely. Nice and easy does it, 1.8 kilometres done, so a couple of 100 metres just under the bridge, and we'll take it up to 6.5 kilometres per hour for kilometre number 3. Yes, Dean, start slowly and build up. Be good to have you back though. About 22 minutes of running to go. Sweating an awful lot in here because it's really warm without the fan on, but do you know what, I might leave it off. I quite like building up a load of sweat. It makes me feel like I'm working harder. And Naylor just passing us there. Okay, here we go with 2 kilometres done and 240 metres of climb, nearly. Almost perfect that is, so that'll get us to 480. Right, up to 6.5 kilometres an hour now, Clive and everybody. So still at 12% incline, 6.5 kilometres per hour. So, you know, slow, easily walking pace for a lot of people. But we're trying to run. Balls of the feet. Gentle jogging. Heart rate will go up. It's now at 137, 138. And I'll guarantee you that 80 miles into a 100-mile race, you won't be running anything like this speed up any hills. You'll either be jogging even slower than this, or just walking, or maybe, I was going to say power hiking, but probably not even power hiking, to be honest. So it's really important to try and get that stamina, so that at least you'll be able to knock out the miles a little bit quicker without being completely shattered at 80 or 90 miles. It's all very well at 10 or 20 miles, you're full of running, you think you could go at the same speed forever because it feels really slow. But even sometimes at the beginning of a race, what you think is slow is still too fast, and you just need to slow down even more. Because when you get to 70, 80, 90 miles, you are completely done in. And it's a death march to the finish line. And what you want is enough stamina and strength to be able to keep running. Very slowly, but keep running all the way to the finish line. Obviously you have walking breaks, and on a hilly run, walking breaks are up the hills. But yeah, you do not want to be death marching in the last 20 miles of a 100-mile race.
Thanks for giving my dad a ride on.
Jeff Heisler, thank you very much, buddy. So Clive is doing well, keeping with me. I don't know what percentage. He might be walking. He might have it flat. Andrew Cutmore says, have you ever thought of writing a book on your running experiences? Kind of. Clive confirms he is on 12%. He's not just walking on the flat up the Rue de Rivoli. I've kind of thought about it. So what I was going to do, I've written a lot of race reports for all the marathons and ultras that I've done. And what I thought about doing was putting all those race reports together and kind of linking them together with a bit of text for a 100 marathons book. But I'm too lazy, I haven't got around to it. Plus I haven't actually written a report for every single race. So I would need to write some reports for races from like years back. Well, not necessarily, I suppose. It doesn't have to be. There doesn't have to be a race report for every single race. But okay, starting to feel it a little bit now. Heart rate 142. We've climbed 300 metres, so 200 to go, and 1.5 kilometres left to run. So we're getting through it. We'll be done in 15 minutes, 14 minutes. Again, I don't think you can see the screen, but just to confirm, that says 12% there. And this says 6.5 here. So 12% treadmill grade, 6.5 speed. Clive Finnimore is using the Runcline app to get his elevation into Zwift and onto Strava. So if you don't have a smart treadmill, so I'm lucky enough to have a smart treadmill which reports not only speed and cadence but also elevation directly to Zwift. So whatever elevation I put on the treadmill here will go into Zwift and will be reported on to Strava and Garmin Connect and whatever other third-party sites you use, Training Peaks, Moves Count, etc. If you don't have a smart treadmill, then the Runcline app is a really brilliant bit of work. By one of the Zwift runners Facebook page members, Pascal Carreras, and he's programmed an app where you can manually input the incline of your treadmill and it will send the data to Zwift. So what you do is you use your foot pod And rather than connecting your footpod directly to Zwift, you connect your footpod to the Runcline app on your phone. And then in Zwift, you pair the Runcline app as a speed source, as a cadence source. And so all the data that Zwift gets comes from the Runcline app. So if you then add some incline to a treadmill, add it manually to the Runcline app, and you will get incline on Zwift. So you see the number in the bottom right hand corner there, 338. That is coming from my Zwift companion app, and it's showing me on the dashboard of the Zwift companion app. It's showing me how much climb I'm doing because it's getting the information from my smart treadmill. It's so easy to get set up with Zwift running. Here's what you need. Firstly, access to a treadmill. It could be at home or at the gym, but any treadmill will work with Zwift. To get you moving in game, we need a speed source. Traditionally, we use a footpod like the Zwift Pod or the Stride, but you can also use the Run Smart treadmill sensor, your Apple Watch, one of the newer Garmin watches, the TSS app, and if you have a smart treadmill, your treadmill will connect directly to Zwift without the need for another device. Now simply download the Zwift app onto a Mac, a PC, an iPhone, an iPad, an Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. Finally, pair your speed source in the app. Pairing heart rate from your watch or a chest strap is also a great addition to Zwift. And that's it. You're all set up for solo runs, solo or group workouts, challenges and real-time racing on Zwift with people from all over the world. I don't know why it ducked out there, but there we are. Okay, so 3 kilometres done. Up now to 7 kilometres an hour, and you'll notice my little avatar starts to run. So just over 1 kilometre to go. So we do have to do slightly over 4 kilometres to get the full elevation in. So it'll be 4.1, 4.2, and we're going to finish in about 9 minutes. Clive Finnimore confirming he's up to 7 kilometres an hour. And we are up to 370 metres of climb, 130 to go.
Right on!
And it is hard now. I can feel it in my legs. A little bit of extra breathing, and you can see heart rate is at 147 now, so well into the yellow zone, into zone 3. And Clive's is about the same. Heart rate is 149 for Clive. So we should both be feeling it a bit in the legs now. But we have 1 kilometre left to do. Nice colourful heart rate bars though, blue, green and yellow. I just don't want number 4 to be orange, that's all. Seven minutes to go. M. Dagan from Australia passing us, doing his evening run. Don't know what time it is in Australia. Andrew Cutmore has just read Vassos Alexander's book. Don't Stop Me Now. Great read, he says. Vassos Alexander, if you don't know, was a Radio 2 producer of the Chris Evans breakfast show. I'm not sure what he's doing now, whether he's moved with Chris Evans or whether he still works at Radio 2, I don't know. But he's also an ultra runner. And I've ran with him before. We ran the South Downs Way. Well, I say we ran the South Downs Way together. He was with me for about 5 minutes and then flew off ahead of me. And Vassos has also volunteered at quite a number of races I've been in, handing out medals, helping at aid stations. So he knows what it's all about. Oh, Rosa, Camilla Rosa. Is that Camilla Rosa? Passing us, and Parquet as well. 3.5k done. About 600 metres, 700 metres left to run. 420 metres climbed. Hurting a bit. Thanks for the ride-ons that are dropping, guys, by the way.
Thanks for giving my dad a ride-on.
Camilla, thank you. I'm sure it's Camilla. Really good runner, actually. Camilla Rosa from Brazil. Often posts on Facebook. And thank you, Clive. Cheers, buddy.
Ride on.
I better be reciprocal then, hadn't I? I can't guarantee my mouse is going to work, though. There you go. Right, 4 minutes of running left. "60 metres left to climb. Oh gosh, this is hurting. Heart rate 150. Tired legs, you see. So we'll take it easy tonight on the Pack Social 5k. So I'll be running with Ryan Downey and the gang tonight, 7:45 PM UK time. Pack Social 5k. But we're not going to race, just going to be a nice easy run. 3 minutes to go. Cheers, Matthias. So up ahead you can see the Arc de Triomphe. We're not actually going to quite get there. Couple of minutes left. You can see the purple beacon up ahead. That's the finish, or at least it should be around about the finish. We need to get to 500 metres is the finish, basically. 500 metres climb, so it doesn't matter what the distance is as long as we do 500 metres climb. Note on the right hand side, the Zwift treadmills and bikes. Heart rate is definitely going up. 152 now. So definitely feel like I'm working. Coming up to 4k. So we need to do an extra 20 meters of climb. There we go. That's 4k done. So here's the last little bit. WL from Australia just passing us. No, A Fisher. Sorry, A Fisher. From the UK. So don't forget there was a new update to Zwift. Dropped a few hours ago. Nothing terribly exciting, just new assets for the Zwift Run Academy. Well, all the academies. Right, so this is kind of the finish line, 4:10, but we still need to do about 7 or 8 meters, 6 meters now of climb just to get to 500. It's 97, 98, 499 meters, and there we are, 500 meters of climb done, and we can bring it down to a walk. Well done, Clive. Gosh, that was hard work. So I don't know if Clive's going to carry on. Well done, Clive. Good job, buddy. But that's me done. I'm out of here. Clive's going to go on and maybe probably go to 5k on the flat. But I'm not. I'm just going to go and... null route pointer. Interesting. So maybe we have a problem connecting to the computer on the other side. Okay, interesting. Oh dear. God, that was hard. Right, XP points in the bag. So I need to look at why it says null route pointer, don't I? Obviously some issue. So what that is, normally that would display the course that we're on, and it's connected to Zwift. So the streaming computer is connected to the Zwift computer, and it should read off the Zwift log file what route I'm doing. But obviously there seems to be an issue and it's not reading it for some reason. But the other ones are working. See, camera 2, camera 1, that's all working. So I don't know. Okay, well I'm done. That's me, finished for the morning. We'll be back on tonight. Don't forget, 7:45 UK time this evening. It is the Pack Social 5k with Ryan Downey. So it's a nice easy 5k, no racing involved. We're just going to chill out, low heart rate, lots of banter and chat, so that'll be fun. And the hard work comes tomorrow and Thursday. So Wednesday we have Wednesday workout, tough workout, we'll be going for it. And Thursday we have the Spanish 5k, tough workout, tough race, we'll be going for it. So 2 hard efforts in the next 2 days coming up. So just a relaxing day today. Although that was a little bit harder than expected this morning. But still, relatively, in terms of distance, we're only doing 9k today, just over 9k. Whereas yesterday I did 32, 33k. So an easy day by comparison today. Hard work tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Thank you very much for the chat on YouTube and Facebook, and a little bit on Twitch at the beginning. And I'll see you this evening. Take care. Bye-bye.